Well, they get a lot of use.
Obviously. They come with a lifetime guarantee.
They need to. They come in plain packaging, it's fine. Hello and good afternoon. Welcome to the PM Models stroke Flory Models Wednesday afternoon show, which is nothing like the normal one. Purely because we've got no stock, can't get hold of suppliers. It's a bit drastic out there at the moment, to be honest. But anyway, we are with you for the next couple of hours. Usual thing, we'll be doing a bit of everything. I'm going to be finishing off my Buccaneer. We'll be talking to you guys, obviously answering questions and usually talking a lot of rubbish as it happens. But we trust you're all doing very well out there. Usual thing, if you want to post up any questions, help yourself. Usual areas, we are on YouTube as well. So if you want to post up in there, that would be absolutely great. We'll try and answer it as many as we can throughout the day. How are we doing then, guys?
I'm okay, thank you. I'm in the cooler, literally cooking in here today.
I was going to say, you need an AC unit in there, won't you?
Well, I've got a door and a window. Does that count?
Did your windows open in there?
It does, yeah, it does actually. I've got my door open a bit, so now I'll be all right. But yes, it's beautiful, beautiful outside today.
Yes, I must admit, when I spoke to you earlier, we were discussing it, it was cloudy and cold here. And now it's burnt off and it's got proper warm again now. So summer has returned for the minute. Here we are in springtime and all the rest of it. So yes, doing well. Andy, how are you? How are you doing? Are you over the virus yet?
I'm over the virus. I feel miles better. Just can't get sick now because I'm not doing anything. I'm not getting tired, so yeah, just chilling off at night now. But yeah, it's a beautiful day here. We're going to have a barbecue later on.
So
you as well?
We are.
What, together?
Well,
not bad.
Yeah, via Skype.
Yeah, via Skype. Have a Skype barbecue. Oh well, me and the dogs will. I haven't done that thing yet of open up the barbecue to see what it's like. Probably should have cleaned it when I last used it in, I don't know, September last year. It's going to be growing, so I'll just do the usual, turn it on to maximum and flame it. So it just, incinerate anything that's inside it, dead mice, rats, things like that. It'll be fine. Last year's grease for this year's flavour, as I say.
Shell went shopping and bought some barbecue stuff, and she said that's my job. And then she also bought some.
Is that essential items?
She bought some chocolate brownie mix as well because she saw your cookies.
Cooking. Yes.
So I've got to do some baking tomorrow, apparently.
That's it. You've got to do baking. It is a thing. If you don't know what about, I made homemade cookies on Sunday, so I had to share the love with the gang and show them pictures.
Look very nice.
They actually, I tell you what, they were just as good as you could buy. They turned out better than I could have hoped for, really. So I'll never be able to do it again. They'd be crap if I did them again, but they were very nice indeed. Anyway, good to say. Right, everybody's saying hello in YouTube land, so it's lovely to have you all in there. It's very, very nice. There's Filio. He's from Doncaster as well. Look, there's a fellow Doncastian. What's your local name for each other?
I
have no idea.
No, you can't call each other that word, surely. Don't you have a thing?
Yeah. This is a family show.
Normally what they shout at each other across the roads.
Yeah.
So yes, very good. Lots of you all in there. And obviously over on the Flory chat, lovely to have so many of you always. There's loads of you in there today. Great. So hopefully you're all enjoying it and everything else. Andy, he's paid his invoice. That's all right. Dispatch Keith's stuff he's paid.
Cool. We'll get tomorrow.
Yeah.
So yes, all be good. Look at that. Very good down in there. Well, to be honest with you, if I just start, I should have turned the overhead cameras all on and everything. There's two bits of information I've got for you. Oh, that's not going to work. Hold on, let's try that camera. That'll be too close. Right, Matt will talk to you all for a minute whilst hold on, sorry, I can probably fudge this.
Is it fun?
What it is, I've had the SD cards out for file transfer earlier, for obviously I did the review, but I've got a spare card. Otherwise it's in demo mode.
Okay, is that what it is it?
That's alright, hold on, we should be alright now. It should let us go across now. There we go, that's one camera, that's the second.
Well, that's better.
There we go. I did do a little bit more to this guy yesterday. Where are we? So I've installed the refueling probe. Clearly not glued the cockpit on yet. So so yes, that's done as well. So we did the leading edge areas as well of the wings because I forgot. So luckily the guys told me to do it. I've re-chromed up my intakes. Hold on, let me put the closer cam on. We need a bit of both. Hold on. I was doing reviews earlier, so that's why we're a little bit out. There we go, that's better. So yes, so I've re-chromed up me intakey bits. That's quite nice. We've done our wing tips. That's our weathering now. It's completely dried and gone nice. So that's what we're after there. I also continued underneath. So we've done that one as well down under there. I've got to do all the detaily bits today. So later on, I'll be giving it a wash on the gear. And then we'll be adding some sharper weathering, so a bit of oily streaks, bits and pieces, all like that. But you see, a refueling probe is on, so is the one on the wing. That one's done, so that's all looking good. Gear doors are on, but they're really straightforward, and actually they are very good. They just click in, so it's almost no glue required. I've put the nav light on the top, I've done the aerials on the top, but obviously the wing ones I've got to do yet and stuff like that. So I've just got some little bits and pieces just to finish off on this one. But I must admit, very happy how the weathering came out. Thank you for all the kind comments yesterday about it, but it's my pleasure to share the love and show you how I do it. It's always a bit nerve-wracking when you do it live.
Yeah.
It screws up, you look a right twat. But there we go, it's looking good. I think she's very much looking the part. Couple of questions I have had about it, people saying about the grey colours wrong. Probably, but it's not like dark sea grey. This is what we call squirrel grey, and it's not barley grey that's on the Mark II. So I'm sort of just guesstimating it a little bit on what colour squirrel grey was. But seeing as obviously the decal people didn't know either, there's no real colour call out for it. It was an experimental colour called squirrel grey. So I think that's sort of close enough. So I was happy with it anyway. But yes, so it's all fine and dandy. So a little bit of detail painting. And then last up, just to show you on the canopy, because doing it on camera would take forever, to be honest. I've done the old masking tape trick. So all I've done, I've put masking tape around the outsides of all of this to give it art effect. So when it's on the said aircraft, and if you wanted it closed or open, whichever way you want, you've got it looking the part. So yes.
Cool, that.
Yeah,
but it's
really.
cheating, but it works.
Yeah, it does, especially in this scale, doesn't it? But no, this squirrel grey, did it have an actual BS number?
Don't think so. I can't find any reference to squirrel grey whatsoever apart from what's on the decal sheet. And
No.
it says experimental colour scheme. That's it. It doesn't actually say what it was. So
No, hold on a minute. I just put my overhead on. I've got my overhead or the other one, hold on. Ew.
Rob says, have we got any Buccaneers in stock?
No.
I'm just looking online. No, sold out.
Oh, sorry.
And some of our suppliers are, hold on a minute, just get some light on the job, Jibby Jobette. So here's my Buccaneer. I've started to decal it, so as you can see.
It looks really nice, that real classic colour, isn't it? With the white, with the grey.
I like it, yeah.
The
I'm
dark sea grey.
glad I picked that scheme actually, and now the decals are coming on it, it's
Yeah.
bringing it to life. So, like I said, the only problem was on about, because we were on last night, weren't we? And the underneath decals, or the stencil decals, are white.
Yeah, which is a little bit of a problem, that, isn't it?
It is, yeah, so I'm not bothering with them, because you ain't going to see them. I actually did put a couple on, but there's no way you're ever going to see them. So I thought, well, that's got me out of my favouriteest job ever, not. So I knew there's reason behind the madness for picking that scheme.
Yes.
But yeah, it's coming along. So I'm going to do a bit more decaling on this, I think, this afternoon. And also,
Okie dokie.
you can see it behind, I don't know if you can.
Yes,
I
in
got
primer.
primer on my M51. There you go. Yesterday when this lot were on and gassing. So that's coming along. If you want to see it, I've put in photos up on Instagram, on the PM Instagram page, and the Buccaneers up on there, and whatever else. I think the Audi, the West. So yeah, if you go and check that out, you'll see my progress.
The M51's for your Latin American group.
It is, and I have been taking photos. It's just going to be one of them at the end where you're just going to get a big load of photos and text, and it'll be done, and then final reveal. So yeah.
No, very good. Andy,
And
how
it's
are you
frozen.
getting on?
It's frozen.
What as? Is he frozen? I thought he was just still. Has he died?
frozen.
Hello? Look, hold
Look.
on, I'm flicking with me mouse. Look, oi, wake up.
Wake up.
No, he's properly gone.
No, it's properly just frozen. So anyway,
Oh no, he's alright, he's on overhead. Now he's back again.
Weird.
Right.
Must be the virus and something's attacked everything.
Well, we didn't see anything you was on about if you were talking.
I wasn't on about anything. I was...
Oh, right.
You were panicking. Saturday's panicking.
Phil, no simulated dirt on the gear. Like I just said, I'm going to do it in a minute. I've got to do all the weathery bits yet. So I'm going to do a wash for the gear. And obviously we're going to use the oils for doing streaking.
Oh.
So that's where that's coming from. So yeah, draw a moustache on him. Do you know what? There is a mode, and I'm going to work out how to do it. And it's called whiteboard mode, and I can do that. So, so before you know it, you're all going to be wearing gear and stuff. But I just don't know how it works. I'll have to do a little bit of homework on that tonight. I'll figure it out for tomorrow's show and have a whiteboard. It'll be quite good because then I can draw diagrams on the screen and everything. I just don't know how it works. So yes. The guy's saying about the Boscombe Down, the yellow one found the same problem with stencils not showing up.
Yeah, don't bother with them. I'm not. If you can't see it, then there's not much point in putting them on, is there? Let's be fair.
How's Boris doing today? To be honest, I don't know. Has anyone seen the news today? I haven't really seen it. I've been really busy today.
He's still in intensive care on his oxygen, but
is he off it or on it?
Well, he's
only
only
on oxygen, but it's not on a.
He's not on a pack system where it's pressurised oxygen, is it? It's just the. I don't know. My other half tells me all this. I haven't even got a clue what I'm on about. But yeah, apparently he's just on the one that stick up your nose.
Okay.
But
that's still not good, though, is it?
He's not well. I think that's the big thing. I think it's that thing where you always think it's elderly people and stuff. And as like my partner will testify, it's everybody. You know, in her place, they've got everybody of every age, creed, colour. It doesn't discriminate. So don't think you're young and healthy you can dodge this, because as Boris proven. You know, you can be young and healthy and still catch it, and it can knock you for 6 if you happen to get it. You know, like Andy, you know, Andy had it for what, 10, 12 days? Was yours pretty bad?
Yeah, I mean, I still don't 100% know whether or not that's what I had, but, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if when I had the test to say whether you've had it or not, I did have it, but, yeah, I definitely had something. That's without a doubt. But, yeah, it was about 10 days, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think law of averages said you've had it, to be honest, Andy.
Yeah, I think from what you were saying with all your symptoms and bits and pieces, it did sound like you have had it.
Yeah.
I hope so, because if that's as bad as it was going to get, then I've dodged a bullet, really, with my health issues that I've got. So,
what, bonitis?
Yeah. Just in a chat, Paul says no Spanish holidays until September. Obviously, they're
they're bad as well, aren't they? So, you know,
if there's any airlines and hotels left to accommodate people,
that's it.
Not next week after. Me and Matt were supposed to be flying over to Mossen Slate Show, weren't we? But
Boom.
No, they've all been cancelled out, I think.
Have we heard about, I take it has, but have you had a confirmation about the World Expo gone there?
Yeah, when I spoke to Brevco about it, I do believe it is cancelled, so...
Well, I thought it obviously could be, but yeah.
So...
Not seen anything on any news feeds
I don't know if there's any official announcement been. I think they're just edging their bets for the moment, but, you know, as you say, it's all really well. They might be in... You know, the Netherlands might not be on lockdown, but the rest of the place might be. So
yeah,
it's not going to happen. Let's be honest, is it? It's a shame, but like I say, probably next show will be if it's on Telford for us.
It will be for us now, isn't it? Yeah, all of ours are cancelled until Telford. So
we've potentially got one in September and one in October. Again, it depends, doesn't it, whether they're going to go ahead or not.
That's it. Well, what we could do, like we were saying, we'll probably have a virtual show and we'll do show special prices for that weekend and all the rest of it. We get all this rubbish out of the way and we're all back to normal. I think what we'll do, we'll have a virtual model show. And
at the unit?
Yeah, that's it. We can do it at the unit as well, but also for people online who can't be there, we'll vlog it all live as well. So we'll live stream from the unit throughout the entire day and we'll have a show. We'll do show special prices as well and stuff like that if you can't make it. And we'll get back on track, so to speak. We'll have a big reopening and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
So,
Need to get some stock first.
well, yeah, once we've got stock, we can sell virtual stock that we haven't got. I know companies who do that.
We've had a packer delivery today, so
Yes.
we're going to restock from them. I've put a big order in with Obico for more Tamiya paints and a few kits and mainly sundries, masking tape, stuff like that. So that should be fine. Obviously, we're still waiting on said orders from another company, but I've updated the things again. Hello, Shell. I've
Guest appearance.
updated our credentials again, so let's see what happens this time. So
I did see another order go through just before we came on air, so that was it.
Yeah, that's 3. Say hello to the world.
Say hello to the world, Shell.
Bend down a bit.
Doing?
Yeah, you have to bend down a bit, although not too
Bend
low.
down a bit.
You have the eye out.
I'm down to gardening and all the mess.
You're not allowed to go on, you'll burst into flames.
No, we've got your sun cream on.
I have.
Get your Fact 1000 on, wetsuit, the welder's helmet, you'll be fine. Right,
yeah.
okay, a couple of quick questions here. We've got, can you recommend a brand of oil paints, or can you just use cheap ones, like from the works? Would that be a mistake? I can answer that. For years, I had, and I've got here, just to prove that, and I keep this as a little tool to say, don't ever do it again. I bought these from like the works, really cheap ones, you know, and they come in little trial type sets as well and everything else. And to be honest with you, I never had any real success with oils. They were always quite gritty. They just didn't blend very well or anything else like that. And actually, it was the oil. The oil's not very good. But like I've been saying recently as well, your thinners are just as important, because you can have a really good oil and cheap thinners and vice versa, and it'll affect how it goes and how well it blends and all things like that. As I say, honestly, just buy them. I know we stock them and it's a shameless plug, but it's true, you can get them anywhere. But the Abtai lungs are fantastic. They are brilliant. They blend. You can use them neat, you can use them sort of semi-thin like we did yesterday, you can use them thinned completely, or whichever way you want to do it, and they just work flawlessly with a good quality thinner. And to be honest, since I've been using them correctly, I haven't looked back, because I just love it. I love the effect they give. It's so subtle.
Well, let's think with the Abteal lungs and the ammo ones, the oil brushes and all that, the colours are geared up for model making. They're not just, you know, oil paint, as say, for artists. The colours are geared up for what we do. So that's why we recommend them and stock them. So,
and I know people say about, you know, prices of them and all the rest of it, but honestly, it's a quick, I can show you one here. Like this tube here, I've been using now since, when did you send me them all, Matt? A few years ago now.
That was two or 3 years ago.
So there you go. For the last 2 or 3 years, I've used it on every model you've seen, plus a lot more you don't. And look, that's as much as I've used. And that's my primary go-to colour for absolutely everything. I tend to use the smoke for everything. Starship I've had now for the last couple of months. And I've hardly nudged it, as you can see. So I know, how much are these? What's the retail on these?
£3.90 on this, something like that.
So there you go. For bang for buck then, £3.90, say £4, whatever, right?
Just up £4.
£4. Look at that. Cup of tea comes through the door as well. I don't know how he does it. And biscuits. Jesus.
Do you know he's working?
But yeah, honestly, bang for buck, you think £4 for a tube like that. This tube will last you 10 years. Easy. It's not going to go off either or anything else like that. They last forever. And so for the point of view, like I was saying, this is my go-to set that I use for everything. So literally smoke, because it's great for everything. Starship filth, again, it's great for everything. I use this buff, which is what I tend to use for neutralizing everything as well. If you want to lighten things and all things like that, it's absolutely fine. And then I use this one here, which is called Faded Dark Yellow, which is what I use for hydraulic-y stuff, because it's got that hydraulic-y look to it in color. And I use that, as you can see, it's done. But again, you can go over yellow with this and change the colors and all things like that. And those 4 colors is honestly all I use. I've got the others. I do use blues occasionally and stuff like that for changing things and working with blacks and greens and all those ones. But you know, sort of, you know, £20, you're good for 10-15 years. There's not many supplies out there you can say that'll work for. you know, that
The thing
amount
is
of
as
time.
well, what you got to think of with the oil paints, you've got a very versatile paint, as you can make a wash, you can do a filter.
Yeah.
If you leach all the oil out of them, you've got pure pigment. They're absolutely fantastic for dry brushing.
Yeah.
Like you say, they blend, so you're getting quite a lot of options out of one little tube of paint. And just while you was on there, because obviously I've seen the smoke and the Starship filth, we are out of stock. They come and go, but there is another order coming from AK for the oils, the sets and the singles.
Yeah.
So obviously we do have to take into consideration what's happening in Spain and over here and everything else, but AK is still working, so we should have that hopefully within the next 2 weeks. I'm hoping for restock.
Yeah.
Well, I say the Starship filth just comes and goes as fast as we get it in, really, doesn't it? So
Yeah. They are. They're your bread and butter
Everything
colours, you know.
that's
It's
smoke.
always the most popular colours that go, even though we buy tons of it, it still goes.
yeah, it is, but you know, it's good. But I say you definitely get your money's worth out of it.
That's half a question. I don't know where the other half is on that one. Somebody talking about RAL 7000. So something like that. Anyway, what else have we got? What company has the most brittle sprues? I'm curious because they break very easily. I don't know about brittle. Hasegawa's tends to be more chinky, as I call it. I think it's the hardest styrene out there tends to be Hasegawa's. Theirs, if you're going to get it snap, it'll be theirs rather than bend. Whereas, as you say, you go down the other end and you're into the, well, Revell, Airfix. Theirs is very soft, isn't it?
Plasticine.
Plasticine, yeah. So
This sword stuff's quite snappy. I mean, you know, it's quite hard, but it's weird. It doesn't glue very well either. It's just weird stuff.
again,
Contain
like we were saying, sometimes you get some glues work better than others on various plastics. So sword stuff.
There was a kit out, I can't remember who did it, that nobody could get to glue together. Who was that by, Matt?
Bandai.
Bandai? No. Was it
It was
Bandai?
that Bandai one that all shattered when he built that ATS.
Yeah, that was the enamel problem.
I know what it was. It was Special Hobbies HE115.
That was it, yeah. Yeah.
But that was obviously a moulding issue. That must have been a thing with the styrene they were using as a component were either missing or because none of their other kits have done it. It was only that one, wasn't it? So and that's been re-released at some point this year, which would be nice. So hopefully they've cured that problem. But yeah, a guy was talking to us on the Luftwaffe Sig about it, weren't they?
Yeah.
And he says he just couldn't get anything to glue it. Literally, just I think he ended up super gluing it together.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? Yeah.
Any plastic glue would not penetrate this styrene. He just couldn't get it to stick. So never heard that at all from any other
manufacturer. I must admit, I've never had anything that won't glue as such. You know,
So you went with the Bandai kits, didn't you? Where if it gets with like the
enamel thinners if it penetrates the plastic, it will dissolve it. Literally, it will dissolve it. And again, I don't really get, because I've had not arguments, but I've had debates with people saying no, it doesn't. It freaking does, because I've had mine do it. I've had it literally on my desk and collapse, and I've got video evidence of it doing it. So you know, but again, this is the thing. Apparently, talking to a few people about this who are somewhat in the know, the chemical engineering people, like they've said, the chances are where you've cut the sprue, their plastic is quite porous. Okay, so although that Bandai's plastic, I think, is still one of the best ones because it's incredibly clever how they injection mold, especially multicolored injections, and I don't even know how they do a lot of it. But anyway, what happens is the oils which are in the enamel thinners leaches into it and gets absorbed into the plastic, and then it breaks down the plastic from the inside out. So you have to think about it is that on the inside it's very, very porous, but on the outside it's nice and shiny and it's flat. So it actually goes in the inside. If you've got a piece of plastic that's under pressure, so in this case it was the joints that actually hold the legs of the ATST, the Chicken Walker from Star Wars. because that's under a lot of pressure, it was in there and it's falling apart from the inside out, and it literally just crumbles. And you can put it between your fingers and do this and crumble it into nothing, into the parts, and that's what it is. So this is when you get the people and they say it doesn't do it for me, and I've soaked mine in enamels and all the rest of it. It won't unless it's got into it as such and it's under pressure, because if it's just in there, it's just happy to sit. So if you're using it for an external wash, it will be fine. But if it gets into a point that's load bearing, it's got a lot of weight on it, it could run the risk of actually shattering and breaking. But it's done it to me now on 2 or 3 times. It's not just been that one event. I've had other things that have done it as well. But again, you might have a point where you've sealed it so it can't get into it. So it may be a case where, you know, you've polished the plastics and now it can't penetrate into it, you know. But if you've cut it with a knife, scraped it, you've just got a sprue tab, it's getting in via that, but the outer coating of the part as it sits there normally is fine. It's not going to be able to penetrate into it. But if you sanded it, for instance, then it can get in. So it's just one of those things. Sometimes you get away with it, sometimes you can't. I know some people have said about if you lacquer the part, you know, then you won't have a problem. Probably not, 'cause it can't penetrate inside, but apparently it's where it leaches internally into the plastic. It dissolves it from inside out, really. So just be careful if you're doing it. And when you speak to people in the know, like the Gundam community who've been dealing with Bandai for years, that's why they have markers and various things and tools, so it negates the problem. They've got round the problem so you don't actually have it. But coming from our side of the hobby into theirs, didn't know that, just slap it on like you do normally and it bit me. So
Jamie says his gun's crumbled on his Bandai X-Wing.
Again, that's the thing. It can, you know, sometimes you get away with it, other times, you know, you don't. But that's what it is. It's literally just gets in amongst it.
Also, one of the guys in chat says the book, just bought his book and really enjoying it, and he says, "Hope you enjoy the sequel."
Oh, is it a follow-up?
Sorry, say that again.
One of the guys in chat said he was enjoying Jamie's book. He's just bought it, and Jamie says, "I hope you enjoy the sequel."
Oh, when's the sequel coming out? This is the thing.
Could do another one while we're in chat, because somebody's asked it twice now. He says, using the Hitaka Blue line paints, how do you stop it bubbling after shaking it? So obviously when he's shaking the paint, it's got bubbles in it, then he's trying to use it for brush painting. And because the bubbles in it, it's...
Oh.
I don't know, because I don't use them.
No,
I've not tried the blue line, so again, I can't really comment on that. But I suppose I was going to say, like, just put it down and leave it a minute, but then obviously it's all going to resettle in it. So
yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I'll have to get some and try that. I don't know, to be honest. No idea. Might be an idea to contact Attacker. They're very good. They are very good, to be honest. They might have
they are.
For it. So
so we've got a couple in here that they're discussing amongst themselves about the RLL 7000. So fair enough. Where's Steve? Steve's fine. He's fine. He's around the forum somewhere and all the rest of it. Rascal Hobbies, it's 8:12 here. Crikey, early birds. What company? Sorry, I don't know why it jumps around. I seem to be getting it twice. Vallejo Metallics arrived today. Chrome is amazing. Hello chaps, after spending 16 years in the RAF, I managed to get some back seaters in jets. I'm turning to modelling for the first time. What advice can you give for the beginner? Well, what I would say is pop over to the Flory site, take out a subscription. No, I won't quite do that one. But if you did, you just click subscribers area, then you can get in and get all the goodies. Anyway, if you go to tutorials, that's probably your best bet. So if you go into here, modeling tools and equipment, you've got the bite-sized series and that, which is coming up in a minute. But this is just all the basic videos on modeling, on tools, how to sand, doing various bits and pieces, rescribing, re-riveting, all of these things, back form, little bits on oil weathering, stuff like that down in there. Okay, so there's loads of that to see there. And then again, it's gone slightly out the window because I wanted to do a bite-sized tutorial every week, but At the moment that's going a little bit out of the works, but I'll get back onto it. But we've got tutorials on how to airbrush for the first time, just starting out with those, and then various things. And then down in here we've got the airbrush live section, which again this summer I was going to redo them, but we'll wait and see how that pans out as well at the moment. But obviously we got those, and then finally up in here you've got the quick ones. So these are the quick tutorials and modeling tip section, and on the bite size. So have a watch out for these. These will increase the bite size series, but this is really back to basics, how to get started with modeling, what you don't need as much as what you do, and things like that as well. So there's lots of ones down in here about doing that. So we've got things about gloss, we've got things about figure painting when Ben did it with us, gloss work too, polishing canopies, all those ones as well. There's various things in there, you can get on with those ones. But again, I want to get the bite size series up and running, and the plan was every Tuesday I was going to release the next one as we made our way through. But with all this going on at the moment, it's literally all gone a little bit out the window. So watch this space. I will get back onto it at some point. So yes, that's it. Have a look at those.
I think the main thing is just enjoy yourself and build something that you want to build.
Yeah, that's the thing. At the end of the day, whatever interests you is a good spark, because it will spur you on with the build and get you going to it. So pick something you really want to do and do that. Don't be put off by scaling or things like that. As we said before, just as long as it's something you're into and you enjoy, that's really what you want to go with.
I suppose the other thing as well, you know, if you've been putting off them projects because you think, oh, I need more time to do it, or, you know, at this moment in time, you've probably got more time than you know what to do with. So why not tackle them sort of projects? If you've got a bigger project, you're thinking, oh, you know, it's going to be a bit of a commitment to do it, dig it out and start it, I think. Yeah,
I think that's probably a good advice. Throw yourself into it. That's the best advice you can do, and enjoy it. Remember, it's not going to be perfect the first time. It's a bit like ice skating. You're going to land on your ass a few times, but you'll get the hang of it. Yeah. It's all right.
And by the way, before anybody pipes up in our chat, no, I am not digging the bison out. I'm simply...
Oh dear.
Devil's...
It's going to have to be a raffle.
We're going to raffle it off, are we?
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a raffle.
£1 a ticket.
Yeah.
Okay, Neville says, Phil, loved your weathering on the Buccaneer yesterday with the oil dots and would love to try it. What colours would you use on green and brown camo? Is it just light and dark dots? Again, depending which way you do it. We did one live as well. Just so happens I have to hand her, which we played with this one. We did it live. So we did the green. So with the green I put yellow on. So you actually put bright yellow and then dot it, and that will then lighten the green without fading the green, because a lot of people like add white to paint. It doesn't really work like that because you end up bleaching out the colours. So you can do that, and then on the grey here we actually did the buff technique on this one and go through. So with the brown as well, the buff would work quite nicely. But it usually is that thing with primary colours, and it's a whole different show. We've covered it a little bit before, but you know, you pick your primary colours. So if you're looking at green, you've got your sort of your blues and your yellows making your green colour. So if you want to darken the green, shade it, you put blue onto it. If you want to lighten it, you put yellow onto it. And also you don't do the entire thing, you just do it in patches. And it's great when you're working with panels, because you can just do corners of panels and things like that, or quarter of a panel. Don't do the entire panel because you don't want to change all the colour, you're just trying to make it quite subtle. But that was a good way of doing it, and we did that one live up at the unit and we videoed it and it's available somewhere. But yeah, and like with brown, same thing. So you could just go in with a little bit of buff for lightening the brown colour. If you wanted to, it's quite a nice one to do it with there. So, and you can just literally mix it in and go with it. The same technique works for pretty much any colour. It's just working out what colour is going to work best with it, you know. So go on.
I put a really, really good neutral colour, which won't, like say, bleach out, but will lighten, is flesh colours.
Yes.
Any of the flesh colours are brilliant for doing that sort of work.
Which I do believe I have in my various thing. I'm sure one of these is flesh something or other. It's what I got out the other day, and it was like shadow flesh colours. Oh, sorry, not on that one. So yes, I've got a few ones like that as well, and they work really, really well. But like for plain,
there's basic flesh. I've got basic flesh here, and and light flesh,
Yeah.
which are those. And again, because the colours they are brilliant for, just ignore the flesh bit really. And
Yeah, because it's still a buff at the end of the day, which is great
Yeah.
for it. You know, and like these ones here, don't take too much about the thing. It's just blue at the end of the day, but they're calling this one faded navy blue, and we've got Luftwaffe yellow. But you just need a yellow and a blue for working with greens. And then when you get your greens going, like we did on here, you can probably, or hopefully you can see some of the areas on this one. So it's just breaking up the green to make it look a little bit sort of, you know, lighter and sort of weathered and worn without it changing. Because if you just add white into the mix, all you're going to do is bleach out the colour. And that's the trouble. You don't really want to be doing that. You want to enhance them in whichever way is the easiest way, you know. But again, like I said before, they do an aircraft weathering set in Abteilung. It does come with the yellow and the blue. It comes with the green. It comes with the shadow and something else, if I remember rightly.
I mean, that Luftwaffe yellow is discontinued. It's just now yellow, I think.
Yeah.
But I think it's just the same colour. Just obviously they've changed the name of it. But yeah, you just get some primary colours, I think, in the aircraft weathering set. But like I say, don't forget as well, you can mix them together and make your own colours. So
yeah, absolutely. And that's the other thing as well. The great thing with oils, just mix them up. It's like pigments. You just mix them all up and come up with any colour you like.
My nice piece of cardboard I was using for. I don't know what I was using it on. I think actually it's for that French armoured car.
Yeah.
Just to do a bit of bleaching and weathering and whatever. But yeah. And I think, you know, if you actually cover these up, they do last a bit longer. Even if you leach the oil out of them, you can. You know, you've got a couple of days worth of work time with them before they actually go rock hard.
As I say, I must admit, you can rehydrate them, because I've got my card here, which I've been using on the Buck. And if you can put a little bit of thinners on there, they will come back to life, even when they've dried out and gone rock hard, like these have now.
Yeah.
These are proper crispy. Right. If you've got any questions in there, Andy, shout them out.
No, it's fair. They're talking about guys who wear Mac selling dodgy watches.
Who's doing dodgy watches?
I don't know. I must have missed something in the conversation somewhere, but
selling dodgy watches.
Anyway, hello Phil. Do Ryfield Models privatise delivery? Or is that, you know, I think he means privatise delivery, as most sites in Europe. Thanks, Phil.
We sell Ryfield.
We sell Ryfield. Yes,
And
we
we
do
ship.
Ryfield Models.
We ship.
Yes, ship anywhere in the world.
Yeah, we do Ryfield. So quite a few of it. Just some really, really nice kits.
Yes. Ed says, nice to have Andy back. Hope he's well.
I am. Thank you very much.
Gordon says, Phil, you made mention of a deburring tool that you use in some of your videos. Can I ask what it is and how you use it? I have no idea what a deburring tool is. Okay, well, there's a couple of things. It's where's the lethal thing? A deburring tool can be a multitude of things, but basically it's just an edge. Hold on, let me find a bit of something and I'll show you what a deburring tool is. Airfix are going to let me down now because their kits have been quite good recently. Let me find something with some flash on it. Hold on. No, it's going to have to be Airfix because there's nothing on an Edard kit either. So really, deburring tools are, where are we? Where's my overhead? That's me, and if we go there. Okay, so basically a deburring tool is just a straight edge. So in its simplest form, you can use a knife. Okay, so the deburring bit, the bearing bit is where you get the slight sandwich where the mold is two halves squishing this together. Some parts you get come out and they can have a little bit of flash on them. Okay, so basically you can just come along and you can scrape it off. Okay, so you get your little bit wispy bits like this. Okay, so a blade, that will do it, but there is tools which can do it. You've got the Citadel one here, which actually, to be honest, is quite a good one. Look, so you can just pop along and you can take out bits and pieces like that with this. Okay, it's a bit limited because really it's just an edge, but it does do well and you can get in some tight little areas with that one. This thing is lethal, but it's really good. Okay, this is the display one. It's got this triangular type blade, okay, which is proper lethal. Matt was trying to kill people at a certain show with this thing. Anyway, so what you do is, again, you can put it in and you can probably see how fine the wispy bits are. Okay, that's got an incredibly sharp, very fine blade, and as I say, the great thing is with this, you can go right into a corner because it's a triangle, so you've actually got sort of 35-degree into this one. You almost get 90 degrees into the most tightest little areas, and you can go round. So if you imagine if you've got a piping work, you can just go round and take out that seam line off of it, no problem at all. Other little ones you can get, these are Alex scrapers. Okay, these have got various cuts and loops and things, so what you can do, you can put it over an edge, and again it will take them off and they come off just like that. Okay, you can get ones with different shapes to get into different type areas. So again, we've got all of these, and again you can just pop in with one of these, and as I say, you can scrape clean off these areas. And again, you can use them for seam lines as well. So with these things, if you wanted to, you could then just come in, trailing edge of a wing, pop this little guy down in like this, and then you can scrape and clean out and then smooth that off as well. To be honest, it's more of a Japanese or Eastern technique using scrape cleaners, but deburring really is just getting rid of that sandwich that can occur in between. But in its simplest form, in the cheapest form, you can just use your knife and get in amongst it. And I know a lot of people turn around, and when I started using this, a lot of people saying, oh, it's just a typical display over-the-top tool that's really expensive. True, but it is good, and it is nice, and it does do the trick. So I do use it a lot. But again, I'll use my knife and just go round and scrape clean.
I'll say, just to show you this version I've got here. When my finger comes up to put the overhead on. I mean, I've showed it a few times anyway, but this one, I got my overhead on, haven't I?
No.
Alright, hold on. Technical issue.
User error.
Yeah, it is actually. I pressed the wrong button. Hey. Have we gone over here? What's going on with my camera? We're on go slow on my end, I think. There we go. This is my version, which Trumpeter do a version of, which we sell. But this one's from Japan. I got this from Japan. It's by Mindshima. But Trumpeter do a completely, really the same version of it, and it's very sharp and very, very good for deburring. It's got a lethal point on it. See, it gets into all the nooks and crannies because again, it's got that triangular shape like the display one, and a flat edge. But yeah, it's quite a handy tool. I've used it quite a bit. So, yeah.
Very good. Again, at the end of the day, it's technically any tool that sort of works for you. You know, number 11 Swan Morton will do the trick, but I quite like that one because you can get right into tiny little areas with it without the risk of breaking anything. Like with a blade, I think, you know, it's not as sort of easy to get into. These are great. There's videos on this that I've used. If you've got like an intake with an ejector pin mark in it, you can scrape them out. You know, so these have got these little curves on them for different sizes and obviously diameters, circumferences for getting in and scraping out. So if you've got like interior detail and you want to remove it, you can just scrape them clean out and all the rest of it. But that's really what it is. But deburring is one of those things where modern kits don't have it like old ones do. So if you've got an old one of those F-resin kits, you might need something like that, or something a bit more industrial to get rid of them on there. But you know, as we know, Nathan's been talking about it recently with the Tornado build. Revel, they've always got that bit of burring or flash in there, and it can make for fit problems. So if you get rid of that, they go together really well, but until you get rid of it, you can have problems with it. So again, it's one of those things. Spending 10 minutes cleaning up your parts, making sure they're all smooth, can actually make for a painless building of your model kit. Otherwise, you've got little bits of burring or flash in there, they can actually just cause that little bit that's on a knock-on effect, and when you come to put two halves together, it doesn't go.
I was going to say, Andy, you'll be a thingy with that with your organic, won't you?
There you go. We just had a flyby by something.
Yeah. They're horrible.
Trying to work out what it was, but there's two of them because there's another one over there.
Every single part on the organic was covered in flash. In fact, you couldn't hardly tell what half the parts were. Do you know what? In fact, one of the guys says on the chart, he says, "Try Revel for flash when you were looking for something to."
Yes.
Find the flash on.
Yeah, there you go. It's good practice, isn't it?
Yeah. Can I just get a couple of questions in here?
Yeah,
While
go on.
Darren says, will you be getting Untitled weathering oars back in? Definitely have one, please. Yeah, they'll definitely get them back in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Their sets. And also, Dave Pierce says, Phil, Matt, next time you go to the post office, can you see if they ship to the Philippines?
Yeah, can't see why not. It's the Philippine ends that you need to know.
I'm just going to say, I think you'll find that as far as the UK is concerned, it's going out. But if Philippines' postal system is locked down, it will just sit in a cage somewhere, you know. But from our point of view, it still gets shipped, you know.
Yeah. Well, I've posted out today to the US. Got ordered one to Spain, one to Malta, one, you know, something's gone to the Netherlands, and yeah. So we're shipping wherever, and I'm not being told that's not going, or I've been given it back. So, like I say, it's when it gets to the other end, if your postal system's working there.
Len is saying, how good are Tamiya at replacing broken parts? He's got an F14 today. The main canopy is in 3 bits.
Oh,
Just wondering.
yeah, they're pretty good. Get in touch
Very
with
good.
Poppy.
Yeah.
Bobbycoat, yeah.
They're obviously the importer, and they are pretty good, to be honest, Lenny. They should sort you out.
They have a massive parts
They do.
section, don't they, in the warehouse that we've.
They have the graveyard,
Yeah.
Yes.
and if it's not in the graveyard, they'll pull it off one of the shelves and cannibalise them that way for parts.
Yeah.
So yeah, first protocol is them, and then see what they say. But yeah, they're normally pretty good.
Yep. And also, I think it was Paul, says he's been mixing extra acrylics with rapid thinners and it turned to glue.
Yes,
It will do.
it will.
Yes, we were playing with that yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can say extra acrylics are proper acrylic paint, isn't it? There's no hybrid there. It's pure water based. So
Yes.
yeah, it's not like it. You'd have to thin it and thin it and thin it. I think like what you did with the Red Arrows Hawk, wasn't it?
And that is the thing. You just keep thinning and thinning and thinning until it works, you know.
Yeah. But you end up with a lot of paint.
Yeah, you do. You start off with a small bit, and by the time you've got 8 litres, you know, you've got enough to paint the real thing.
And to be honest, I don't think rapid thinners would work because it's just going to evaporate because it's so fast to evaporate. And I think you used leveling thinner, was it, when you did yours?
Mm-hmm.
So again, there's a different compound to leveling thinner with a retarder that I think if you are going to thin acrylics, will work better than normal lacquer thinner. There's definitely something in leveling thinner that helps, shall we say?
Mm-hmm.
But really, it's not advisable. Better off with just water or the road thinners.
Yeah. I've just got a couple here. So, hi guys, just watch part of your F14 build with all the extras. Can you do this as a full kit? What, the build? I don't know. That's what I was just looking at then. Which one is it? Which video are you actually watching? And I'll know because I've done 3 now. We've done the Hasegawa 48 scale one. I've done the Trumpeter 30-second one, which is over there, and I've done the Tamiya one. So I just don't know which F14 one you're actually talking about on that one. Get back to me onto it. The other one as well, it's quite an interesting one. Afternoon guys, how would you go about removing the decals that have had on his Tamiya, but he's had a can of TS80 flat coat over them applied, so they've been welded down? How would you get the decals off?
Well, God, you'd be sanding it back off and starting again for me.
Or I always say brown packaging tape. I did a video on it once a long time ago. If you use brown packaging tape, as in the cheap horrible stuff, okay, smooth it onto your model and then just rip it off. Trust me, the decal will come off. Your paint won't, but your decal will. And if you get most of it off, that's the easiest way. But I can't remember quite where it was. Funny, I was going through some really old photos and saw the photos of it. That's how I get decals off. But you want the really, like bloody duct tape. That'll work.
It weren't your Crusader you did it on, was it?
I can't remember now. It might have been actually. Perhaps it was the Crusader we did it to.
Yeah. You can do it with that Tamiya 40mm tape. That's really sticky as well. You can do it with that.
But you want to proper be like waxing job, like it off, and it'll take it clean off, you know. But you will need to sand it afterwards because you're going to get a step where the decal was to your flat coat that's all over it as well. But at least you won't have to do the entire thing. So if you're thinking of remarking it up, perhaps, or perhaps it's an entire new respray. But again, you know, it is that's the way I go about it. You can get softener decal solution underneath it for repositioning, but if you've had a coat of something over it, I would just rip the sucker clean off. But brown packaging tape, cheap, nasty stuff, but it works.
Yeah. Just good answer, Paul. Paul, if you use a Tamiya X20A with extra acrylics, thins it quite well. Is it right? Is it X20A?
For what?
Extra acrylics.
No,
Yeah.
is it?
Extra acrylics, yeah. You can use Tamiya
I'm sure I've used
X20A with it. It's no problem at all. They do their own thinner. A lot of people actually say for that stuff, water. Just distilled water, not tap water. I think that's where everyone goes wrong with it as well.
Yeah.
You know, make sure you use distilled water than not tap water.
And you're going to get a lot of tip dry that way, though.
Yeah, loads of it. But I know, people have mentioned it to me. I've never tried it, but
yeah.
Can I do a couple more out of here?
Yeah, go for it.
Stephen says, I feel found a downside with your new mugs. Uh-oh. I have black coffee, but you can't see the level in the cup.
Do you know what? I have black coffee in the morning as well, and I have that trouble. You go put it to your face and burn your face off because you don't realise it's there. So, but I've done that. It's all right. Next year we'll have a different colour on the inside. We'll just have different colour schemes going through, different artwork and different colours on them.
Steve says, afternoon everyone. My partner said the cat knocked my 124th Typhoon. It keeps moving. And snapped both sets of undercarriage. Can someone recommend a good place to purchase a set of white metal undercarriage? Thanks. The Edard Brassing ones are good, aren't they? They do undercarriage for the 24th Typhoon. I'm sure they do.
Yes, because I used them.
Brass ones, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've got on mine.
Yeah.
I say it's quite a heavy kit to sit on the kit ones, isn't it? I think when Steve built his, I think his undercarriage gave up at the same with his Mozzie.
Yeah.
You can see them sort of like the wobble from side to side, don't they?
And then it just sort of.
And to be honest with you, it's like that FW190 that's at the unit. That's got the brass undercarriage on it because there's no way you'd ever use the plastic one. It'll just snap.
Yeah, especially with all that resin that weight in the front end. So yeah.
So if you try Hannants are good for that sort of stuff. Well, you'll be able to pick them up anywhere really if you just do a Google for Edard 124th Brassing.
Yeah.
Tim says, could anyone recommend a first armour kit build? Would something like a Tamiya Sherman Easy 8 be a good start?
Yeah.
Yeah, really nice kit.
Yeah. Any of the Tamiya armour kits, just take your pick. They're all good. Even the old ones, like I think we've said this before.
Yeah, even the 70s ones are really good.
The ones, they're brilliant.
The T64 is a bit of a...
Yeah.
That's sort of like their version of the Harrier, the Tamiya Harrier. It's like the dog of the armour kit.
Which is weird for them, isn't it? Well, you know, because
I think because it was designed to be motorised.
Yeah.
I don't know that it just doesn't sit right, and it's a bit weird. Yeah.
Yeah, so I suppose there's always one in everybody's catalogue, but yeah, that's not a great kit. I don't even know if it's still available, if you can still get it over here, to be honest. I don't know if it's in the catalogue or not. The T55, which I built, is just fantastic kit. That is just really nice build to do. But you've built the Sherman Easy 8, haven't you? So yeah, fine.
Bob says, if we can find it, Phil, thanks for the review of the newer LED video light panels several weeks ago. Just installed a pair of these over my workbench the past week and they provide breathtaking light level.
Yeah, they are very good. For the money, they are absolutely fantastic. For 40-45 quid a pop, they are really good value. Yeah.
It's like building direct sunlight.
Yeah, that's the way.
Again.
They're the ones I'm going to order some for in here because I've got no light at the back of me over the spray bay. I've been using this, what I bought back from the unit, the photography lamp, but I am going to relight in here because it's rubbish. This strip light above me is just crap, to be honest. No good in an ornament. But it's only here because obviously I've got my lamp.
Yeah.
But again, I want to change this out because it's on bulbs and not LEDs or whatever. It should, I'm going to have a lamp in here.
There's a couple more. Dennis says, do you guys get clear canopies in kits that are under quality with inclusions of fine cracks often?
Not like you used to. Old kits maybe, but modern kits now, you don't really get that, Don't you
Even
think?
some of the short run stuff, the clear parts are actually now really good, where it used to be the really bad part of them because it used to be like looking through toilet window
Yeah.
glass, but they're quite clear now. They're really quite good.
I have to say, the Fly Wessex was a classic example. When you first look at it, you think, God, that's awful. But actually, because it's all painted areas and it's in a clear thing, the actual glass bits themselves are okay. And again, limited run kit, you think they'd be really bad, but no, they're okay. They're good.
How's your Gannet?
The glass isn't too bad, to be honest with you. Yeah, some of it doesn't fit at all, so won't be getting used. But
Yeah.
but yeah, the actual main canopy is fine. It's clear enough. It's just wrong shaped. Or the wing lights have had to sand in and blend in, and the porthole ones on the back of on the middle of the fuselage, they're just completely wrong. So I'll end up using crystal clear to fill them in. But yeah, the main bit's fine.
Aren't they the domed ones?
Not on this model.
I was going to say, can't you just fact form yourself a couple of little dome windows?
A bit too late now. Together. Shut up.
He's going to make some domed ones out of PVA glue.
Produce a bit of packaging. Hey, surely you've got some packaging you could make a couple of little domed windows out of.
Yeah.
Get some bubble wrap, couldn't I? And then just cut a bit out. And they'll be fine with
Going to end
PVA.
in tears.
or do I did ask John to vac for me all new clear parts.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Stephen says, "Hi Matt, when will the Challenger be out?" He has ordered one.
As far as I know, it's out. It's just when we're getting them. I've heard end of this month, but again, that nothing's guaranteed at the minute with obviously what's happening in the world.
Yeah. End of the month. Which month?
Yeah.
Just everything's just up in the air at the moment, isn't it, on what is happening when it's coming out.
Put it this way, as soon as it lands, you will know about it. It's not going to be a big secret, so it's going to be as and when, to be honest. That's all I can say on it. Got no firm dates, and now imported I don't think has at the minute either. We've had a guideline of when, but we'll see what happens.
They're talking about mission model paints.
Okay.
Let them talk.
Skip that.
Yes, let them go. They're fine.
I think we're up to date in the chat for now.
Cool. Right. Okay. Let me just mix this. Right. So what I'm doing here, just in preparation, just for a moment, I'm just making up a wash, simple wash, which is what we were saying with this one. You've seen me use it dry. You've seen me use it sort of filter in a bit, and now we're going to be making a wash with it. Okay. It's just a couple in here. Hey, go on.
Can I just say, when you make a wash up with oil paint, the capillary action is far better than with enamel washers.
Yeah.
Find, and it's easier to clean up.
Yes.
So carry on. Sorry.
Yes.
Just a quickie. Lee says, Phil, remember you said you would do a raised panel line fix today?
Yeah. That's just going to be with the blade. That's very straightforward. So yes.
Right, I'm going to do some deckling while.
Right, I'll tell you what, I'll bung this on now. So let me just bung my overhead on. If I go full screen whilst you guys do your thing. So I've just made up literally a little wash. Big thing to remember with oil paints, they will separate out. So if I leave this just here, you'll see it will get quite dark, and then when you move it, you can see it's. So you need to mix it all the time, otherwise it will separate out. It's the way they work, unfortunately. It's the way the pigments go into oils. They do separate out. So you just want to keep it moving. Otherwise what happens is you have like chocolate brown on the top and then something different underneath. So we've got the gear under here. as you can see. I've actually just ordered, as of today, a brand new camera, because this close-up camera isn't my standard camera, because it died. So
Alright.
I have ordered a new replacement one for it, so hopefully it's going to take care. So what we're doing down in here is just coming along, and we're just giving this a wash. So you can see this, how it's changed. See what I'm saying? So you need to mixy all the time when you're using it, otherwise you're going to end up with coffee colour. Okay, so down in here we are literally just going to brush this around in here, because again, any excess we can take off. So it's almost better to have too much on here for the minute than too little. Okay, so down in here we've got these geared doors. Okay, and again you can see the capillary action, like Matt was saying, is fantastic. It just runs off, goes everywhere in these, and if you go everywhere they will sort of self-level themselves out, which is really nice. Okay, and then again we're just going to come down these, do the outsides.
So what colour did you use that, Phil?
This is just smoke, just the smoke in here. And it doesn't matter if you overshoot or go anywhere that's off or anything else like that, because you can just clean this up. Very straightforward with pretty much anything. Okay, so it's just a case of getting it on, letting it dry, and then working it out like we said before with the other ones, you know. So again, we'll just come in here, and again, don't be worried about going over tires, because you can buff them up then. Again, and if you put your lid on your enamel wash, you can use it forevermore. But again, enamels are great because you can maneuver them round the same way as we did yesterday with the oils on the aircraft itself. Okay, so don't be worried if you suddenly go too far and you end up with a run or something like that. So we do the edges of the doors and all these areas, all on there just like that. Okay, so little areas we're going to do as well. Whilst we've got this wet as a wash, we're just going to go in around the tail hook area, because we're going to paint that up and detail it around these afterwards. And we've got the skid on the back. Okay, so just little areas we're going to do. So we're just going to touch in under here, and we're just touching the corners, so the capillary action will flow around absolutely everywhere. Okay, so we're just trying to enable these areas just to come out, because we're going to do a little bit more weathering, because we're going to do some streaking under here. So we're just setting these all up to start with. Okay, all in those. Around the back here, just in this mechanism, same type of thing. I'll just switch to the other camera a little bit wider. There we go. Okay, so just down in amongst all the gubbins, in your mechanically bits and all stuff like that. Okay, and then again we've got the wash here, so what we're going to do, we're just going to touch it on these flap areas, because we're just going to put a drag on that in a moment. So you've got it on there, then you take another brush, and all we're going to do is just going to drag it so we get some nice streaking. And again, these will dry in. Okay, and then these off of here. So we're just gonna keeping them localized. Okay, and we'll let it sit and rain in. Same with the underside ones. Just down under here as well. And if you wanted to, just do a few little ones just along here, same sort of way as we did yesterday. Okay, and then we can streaking them all back. There we go. And we're just going to stipple these in just a little bit. So you can make sort of puddles and various things. Oh, if we just go a bit closer, cam again. Okay, so you've got the sort of streaking, and that sort of shadowy wet type of effect in your paintwork and various things. But as you can see, this is drying back down under here in these areas, and again on here, so you get that sort of wet look in these bits. And again, we can just add a bit more down under this guy, and again we'll come back and we'll be doing some more to these. So we're just going to pop around in these. Again on this Bombay, we're just going to pick out the center of that panel area, and perhaps these under here. So again, mixing up because it's separating, knocking most of it off, and then we're just going to come in and we're just going to colour in this panel. So a bit like we did the top one, but this is the wet way of doing it, so it's almost a filter. We'll write over it, and again, once it dries a little bit, we'll come back and we'll adjust it.
Colin's asking what you thinned it with, Phil.
This is just thin with X20, Tamiya X20 this time, only because I couldn't be bothered to get the other one down. But again, any of your spirits or things like that.
That's X20 though, isn't it? Not X20A. So it's
no, this is definitely the enamel type ones.
Enamel thinner, sorry, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we're just going to pick out the odd little panel as well. And so we just let them sit, and they'll dry in and all fade in. You can see this now is fading in and it's drying in. And again, I'm not one of these people who does their weathering so it's so in your face you can't miss it. I like it to be subtle, so it's just generally one of those things, yeah. But occasionally you'll come out and you'll pick areas that perhaps you want to make them a little bit stronger and things like that, you know. So again, these panels under here, we'll leave them just for the moment, and then we'll come back and we'll touch them in once it starts to dry, but we need it to somewhat start drying first. Okay.
Can we just say,
go on.
Can we just say hello to all the guys that are just coming on?
Because they think it's 3 o'clock start. Jesus. See, it's like herding cats.
Paul's asking, can you paint over oils easy, or is it a no-no?
Yeah.
Yeah, once they dry, they're rock hard.
Yeah, once they've dried, you don't have a problem with this at all. You might, like this panel we did yesterday, just to change the panel colour, you could go over that, no problem at all. You won't have a problem. There we go. But the great thing with oils is that they do fade, and you can get them on and off and all the rest of it. But hopefully, as this is now drying back from yesterday, where are we on the close-up camera, you can get an idea. Like that wing, it's got that subtle bit of grime in there and the patchiness of it. That's all we're trying to achieve. And again, on the other panels, it's just supposed to be subtle around the vortex generators, you know. And again, the other areas and the various bits on there that we did. Just different ways of breaking it up. And again, just on the sides, the fat end of it, just doing it with the different techniques on the top there, just to blend them all around. And again, gravity's your friend with this stuff as well, so you just want this to sort of go off a little bit. But for the moment, we're going to let those dry back. Okay, then we'll come back and we'll just manipulate them and fade them in. And again, it's always that thing, like I say, it's literally fading. But I've had a decal come off on me.
Ooh.
And that's why I've been grabbing it with enamels. Doesn't like it.
I've just broke one.
So
What, they're very thin, these extra decals, aren't they?
They are incredibly thin. So what I'm going to just do is, I think we're going to grab a little bit of X20A.
Do you know the X20, Phil? What colour's the cap on it?
Blue.
Is it blue?
Yeah, we can't get it over here. It's not something they sell in the UK.
And Richie says, can you use self-evident thinners with oils?
No.
You can,
Not
I've
for
done
this
it, but you don't have the playtime with it, shall we say.
The thing is, you'll end up eating into your paint as well, though, won't you?
Yeah. Yeah, you're better off definitely with an enamel thinner or white spirit.
And Darren says, can you explain what overtrees are when talking about Edard kits? Overtrees, basically, Edard order, say, 3,000 sprue sets from Revel, let's say. They'll make 2,000 into kits, so then they'll have another 1,000 extra sprue sets. And what they'll do is, some of them they'll keep to one side for spares, Then others they'll rebox into a different boxing and called overtrees, which come with nothing else. All they'll have is the basic kit with none of the no decals, no photo etch, no nothing. It's just literally the sprues. So that when you're building another kit, when you've got the original kit, then you can take the overtree sprues, and quite often you've got extra decals. You can sort of like build another version of the kit using the decals that you've already got from the original kit.
So it's fine if you want to be doing bits like scratch building or you've got a different version, but if you're planning on doing an entire kit with one, it doesn't really work that way. Yeah, because as I say, you don't get the decals and the various bits and pieces. Yeah. So
unless you were planning on doing something completely off the chart that wasn't in the box anyway, then
yeah. Sorry, close the camera. There we go. So we're just making a bit of a leaky thing going on here. So again, keep rubbing at it until it stops to how you want it. Oops, sorry. Sorry. I need a cameraman. That's what I need.
Lauren's asked earlier, what camera have you bought? What have you bought?
What camera?
Yeah, he says, you're working with digital SLRs or normal video cameras?
Oh God, no! You can't work with a. Again, this is one of those things where you get the vloggers or you get people who do this. People who do this wouldn't touch a DSLR for love nor money. Two things: one, I wouldn't have it hanging above my head. A full DSLR with a camera with a big expensive lens on it, because if it came off, what only it would kill me, it would destroy everything. Because bearing in mind, I have them hanging above my head, but you've got the trouble where if you're recording, sometimes I might record for an hour, and obviously DSLRs can only record for 13 minutes because of the VAT things and all stuff like that. So that's the trouble with that. If you want something you can just leave on and forget about that it's running forever, again, you've got trouble with DSLRs overheating if they're just sat there. So if we're doing a stream like we've done before and we're doing for 6 hours, we might not even turn the cameras off in the entire day. So that can be a little bit of an issue. So yes, personally I use camcorders. So keep safe, everyone. So from my point of view, I'm using at the moment a bit of a hybrid mix. As we sit here, really, I've got Canons. So I've got my Canon, God, whatever it is, in front of me. Hold on, I can't remember. It says it on the side. I have my XA25, which is my head-on one. And then above me, I've got a mixture of Canon and Panasonic at the moment. We've got this one, which is a Panasonic VX990. And at the moment, the one that's bad, which is just my standby, because actually it's out of my spray booth, is a very cheap Canon. God, hold on, I have to read it because it's back to front. It is a Canon. Oh God, what does it say? It doesn't say what it is. Oh, there it is. So that's the Ligera HFR 806, which is normally the one that's in the spray booth, but at the moment there's a webcam in the spray booth because this is the Ligera one, which is fine for close-up, but it hates doing wide. This is the 900, which is great for wide stuff, and it is pretty good for anything. And then that is the XA one over there, which they now do the 4K at 60 frames, but you can't stream that. It wouldn't stream at that rate. So, but yeah, just depends what you really want. But again, they're very much like cars and airbrushes. Some people like particular types, other people don't. It's very, very specific. It's one of those, you open a can of worms when you're talking.
Yeah.
Those things.
David says, team question, any idea when you chaps will have the Airfix designer fellow on again? Pramjit.
I spoke to Pranjit yesterday. Well, yes, we will get him back on. Might try and get him on maybe next week, so he can do his part 2. Because to be honest, he wants to do it, and I notice his boss has, or one of his other designers has mentioned it on the internet.
As it,
Because he's saying, great to see Pramjit, my fellow colleague, on there, or whatever it was. So,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, go get him on soon while it's still a hot topic.
Yes.
So.
Keith Hall says, sorry about this, but non-related modelling appeal. My wife is a care manager in Cheshire. Is being asked to go out and support people in the community who have come out of hospital, but urgently require face masks. If this is out of order, I apologise, but they are desperate. Do you know, Keith, you might be, I'd honestly try phoning a B&Q and explaining to them what
Also, hold on a minute.
they need.
Yeah, but we've said this before. Medical ones aren't the same as DIY ones.
No.
You know, I hate to bring this up, but it's one of those things where, you know, for a safety point of view, you know, medical ones are slightly different to the ones, like the one my other half wears is like got a rubber seal round here.
Yeah.
So it looks like a paper one, but it's not. It's rubber, and obviously you've got the vent on it for breathing out, so it doesn't come out the sides as well. So, you know, it's very, very difficult at the moment with everything, but PPI should be filtering through to everywhere now. I know she's had a hell of a lot delivered at her place, so it is coming through now and everything else, so hopefully, but you're better off, as you say, having the more medical side of it rather than the DIY side of it. Isn't it? I would literally, as I say, if your partner, have a word with their bosses at the thing and see, because PPI is sort of filtering through to all the various things at the moment. The biggest thing you can do is, like we were saying, is wash your hands. As stupid as it sounds, we had a couple next to us when we did the post run on Monday, and they were sat there with surgical masks on. They had the long latex gloves up to their hands, but they got out of the vehicle, went into the post office, did their thing, got back in the vehicle and drove off still wearing it all. So what good have they just done? It doesn't make any sense. If you're wearing PPI, it has to be changed at every step. So, you know, you don't wear it in the car, because obviously if you've got any infection, you've taken it from the car now into the post office. You might have picked up something in the post office, brought it back in the car, and you're still wearing the same thing. So it's a bit like, you know, where you're still wearing the same masks, hand protection, everything else. You have to change it at every step. Otherwise, it's actually defeating the object of wearing it. So you're better off having a hand gel and just doing your hands at every step. So when you get out of the car, you do your hands. When you've done your posting, you get back, you do your hands, you know, or wash your hands preferably, and everything else like that is far better than a mask. And I know there's a lot of debate about if masks even work or not, but yes, it's one of those various difficult things. But hopefully, if they've been released from hospital, they would have been checked for corona anyway, if they've been in there.
Can I just say to Patrick, stuff and other stuff? He's only just come on and he says, what has he missed?
Yeah, loads of stuff. We're going now. Bye. Right, I've got a couple in here. Hi guys. So anyway, Paul says, hi guys, having problems with decals wrinkling when clear varnish is applied over them. Any idea what I'm doing wrong? I take it whatever you're putting over your decals is very wet. So if you're putting a very wet coat of like an acrylic with like X20A into it, X20A reacts with decals. I've just used it to re-stick my decal on, to be honest, because it's a quick way of doing it. It's almost like a setting solution. It'll weld, grip, and it'll pull it down and do the job with it. So I assume that's just because it's wet going on. You would hope it would, as it dries out, it will flatten out again. But normally a sign of a decal wrinkling is good. I always think if they wrinkle up, I'm quite happy because that means they're pulling down and they're going to adhere well. The bit where you put something over, they don't even do anything, I'm always a little bit worried about. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Again, how long is he leaving the decals for his clear coating? Is everything sort of cured and dry?
Yeah, I'd say that, yeah.
You know, don't know. Could do a bit more info on it, really, couldn't we? Like, what's he using for a clear coat, and how long is he, in between the clear coat and the decaling, and it could even be a case of the decals. What decals are there? Are they old decals or? Like I'm finding with these extra decals, they're really absolutely wafer thin. So you've got to be a bit careful with them. And I'm going to leave. But once this is decaled up, I'm definitely going to leave it for a couple of days to make sure everything's cured and down properly before I give it a flat coat.
It's also if you use micro set and solid or something like that, they help bed it in and stick them down better as well. So if you use something like that when you clear coat over it, it'll stop it from doing anything. But as long as they're bedded in properly, they shouldn't wrinkle up anyway, should they?
No, not really. Like I say, could do a bit more info on what he's using and how long it's been from him decaling to clear coating. Yes.
If I missed any questions in chat, can you post them back up again? Because
has it been flicking?
Darren says, Matt, will you be following back on Instagram? After appealing for us to follow you, which I did, you don't follow back.
Yeah, to be honest, I've got quite a few. I've only just got back into using Instagram again, to be honest, while we've been off. Because I think Phil's find us like I have. Social media side of things is very time consuming.
Yes.
It's a job on its own to do the Facebook and Instagram and all the other social media stuff. And obviously, apart from when Andy comes and works for me on a Saturday, I am on my own. So obviously priorities are orders and, the shop itself. And then this is a secondary thing. But obviously, we're only working part-time at the shop for the foreseeable future. I've now got a bit more time in an afternoon, say, or when we've been doing a few projects to put stuff on Instagram. But yes, I will follow you back. I'll get on it.
I'll follow you if you follow me.
Yeah.
Like for a like. Hello from South Spain. Hello. I hope you're all keeping safe down in that part of the world. A couple of links, Phil, according to ADSB radar. Well, I doubt if they're links I'll tell you what, I'd eat me out. Wildcats, maybe. Perhaps they're just showing up as links on your thing and it's out of date. Well, I don't think we've had a links over here for ages. So we get Wildcats every day, though. We get Wildcats, Chinooks. We had a Herc flying around here the other day and an A400. They were doing touch and goes all over the place around here. So, but if you notice, I don't know if yours is the same on social media, they've only got to see an RAF helicopter flying low or a Herc or an A400 and it's like doomsday. It's like they're just routine training missions, and they do. You get the RAF spokesman as quoted, it's just a routine mission. But are they flying aid? It's like, God, you're not quite at that stage yet, But yeah, every time they see a Chinook flying low or anything else like that, it's like end of the world.
I think what it is, it's because nothing's flying commercially or very little, it's very quiet in the skies.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you do hear something, you're kind of like looking up to see what it is.
Because my part of the world where I am, it's funny because I'm literally under one of the busiest highways for aircraft you can imagine, high altitude. So we get all the stuff that's going down to Land's End and then jumps across the Atlantic. So normally you just have huge airliners, high altitude contrails, none of that. And we get anything that's coming up over Berry Head normally comes up over here as well. So we get all the aircraft like, Flybe and all, well, not Flybe anymore, but all the usual airlines, budget holiday airlines and things like that coming over. So it's odd because there's no contrails in the air at all. No, and then obviously I'm under an air-to-air refueling route as well as a low-level training area as well. So that's why we get jets over here and helicopters and all the rest of it.
So we're on the flight path for Donny Airport here, and say it's definitely quiet because there's obviously nothing coming in or out, or very rare. You do, I think, sort of cargo coming in.
Yeah.
And again in an evening, but during the day, it's just it's like before man was flu kind of scenario.
Yeah,
Isn't it? It's like going back in
There's
time,
nothing
like
flying.
100 odd years or so. Yeah.
Well, Jan says door decals wrinkle because Rebel Airfix decals seem to be thicker. Oh, moved again. What is moving? And don't wrinkle much.
The thing is, different setting solutions work differently with different decals. So, extra decal always like micro set and sole. I always find they always go down really well with them. Tamiya decals traditionally are very thick, so they don't tend to wrinkle like other people's. Linden Hill decals are probably, I think, the thinnest ones you'll find, full stop. They wrinkle up very nicely, but I think the thicker decals don't wrinkle as much. So it depends on the manufacturer of the decal, but certainly Dayco do their weak, medium and harsh setting solutions. It's quite handy having a series, and then you can work out which one you need for which decal very quickly. But I like to see a good wrinkle. I know it's going to be all right. If it's wrinkling up, you know it's good. But many a time, especially with Tamiya, you put them on, and Airfix decals tend to be a bit they don't tend to react with anything. But I often use Tamiya X20A as well. So if micro set and sole don't work, I'll then use X20A. If that doesn't work, I'll then break out the Hypersole.
I'll tell you, it's got to have the worst decals, like manufacturers wise, or they used to have, I'm not going to say now, Academy decals.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they were rubbish. If you got them on, you couldn't get them to stick, and they were really thick, and they were just a nightmare to use. I don't know how they are now. Hopefully they've changed supplier, but it used to be terrible.
Yeah. Peter says, when you get a new kit and you open it, do you wash the parts before assembly?
No.
I don't even do it resin these days, which you should in theory, but no. Although that said, years ago I built a must have been the Trumpeter 1/35 scale AS-90, the British self-propelled gun.
Yes.
And in the bag, literally, you could put a goldfish in with it because it had a pool in the corner of release agent. So I think mine was one of the first ones out the mould. And they bagged it, and obviously it had come off with the sprues, and then it was in. But if you put it on a corner, you literally had a thing of oil this thick.
I say it's not
so
a bad
that got a wash.
to do, is it? Hey.
No. It's good husbandry to do it, but
yeah, I don't do it.
It's like I've built as well old kits. Again, tends to be Trumpeter back in the day, where the oily stuff's obviously clearly dried. So when you look at the sprue, it's got like patches on it. And you give them a wash and they're fine, but it's obviously the release agent dried over years and going crispy now. It's got this it's not nice. So I always give them a wash if they're that state. But new kits, not so much. Release agent isn't what it used to be.
Has something changed then in manufacturing for release agents and stuff? Because they're nowhere near like they used to be, as greasy and
no, I don't know. Perhaps it's a different way of doing it now.
Manufacturing, yeah. I wonder if there is. I don't know. If anybody knows,
it used to be they used to spray the mould, wasn't it? It would come apart, they'd spray the mould, go in, and then out, spray the mould. Perhaps there's something now in the styrene which is like self-lubing.
Need a bit of self-lube.
Nothing wrong with self-lubing. Steve says it was the Tamiya with the Edard aftermarket parts, such as the cockpit, rather than search for extras. Having everything together as a kit would be helpful. But then again, the trouble is, if you could do packs with everything in and away you go. Edard have made a thing out of it. That's what they do now. You sort of get everything in. But you're better off having a look at some of the sites like Hannants do it, where you can literally click on the kit you want, and then down below it will list the aftermarket that's available for it. And you can do those. When we're big and a huge company, it may be a service that we'll offer too.
Yeah, we're not quite here
yet.
We're
not quite there yet to be able to carry, Edard's range, which has now got to be in the probably tens of thousands of items that they do in their range.
Yeah, we're not. We're nowhere near that level yet.
No.
But we did discuss actually picking a kit and doing it, didn't we?
Yeah, we might do it with specific kits that we think need a bit of aftermarket, and we'll offer it as a bundle.
Yeah. Probably a Revell kit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it probably will be, to be honest, because some of my best builds have been like that. You take a bog standard Revell kit and then throw everything at it. So.
Oh, just while we're on about Revell, sorry, Andy. You know, you were on about tornadoes yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah.
And pricing for pre-order.
Yes.
Yeah, I know the prices.
Oh, right. Let me know afterwards and I'll do it.
We can get that up if you want. I see that the the Eurofighter's been back out. Is it the Richtofen Forever? I don't know. One of the Red Baron or something. I can't remember what it was. I've only looked at it before we came on. But yeah, is that a decent kit for a Eurofighter?
In 48, it's the only one.
Oh right, we might stock that then, I reckon.
And to be honest, I have built it. There's a video build, and it's actually not a bad kit. All right, the intakes are gnarly, and it's got some problems, but generally it's the only one. So.
Oh right, okay. Well, it's in whatever the new boxing is of it, and new decals for the German one. So, okay.
Just get a load out of here because there's loads and I'm getting lost in them all.
Go on.
Peter says, I only had a couple of decals wrinkle upon me after using setting solution and never flatten out. Most don't wrinkle for me, but they flatten really well. Then Jamie says, had extra decal BPF roundel on a 48th wrinkle up and never flatten out. Ended up having to sand it out and paint over it. Should have painted in the first place.
I've ever had one not go down. That's the thing. I normally hit it with something else, and that'll do the trick.
Oh, dog barking. Delivery.
Oh.
I'll tell you what, though, with just saying with extra decal, because I used them on my JU52. That goes to the.
Yeah.
Let me just shut the door a minute with the noise out. On the Luftwaffe SIG, and they know, obviously with the corrugated surface of a 52, it's a lot to contort to, but they never really settled and they cracked. They weren't really brittle on there, where these ones for the Buccaneer seem really nice.
The worst ones I did was when I did that 32nd 109 Edard one, and they were supposed to be cartographed decals, and they were horrible.
Yes, they weren't.
Absolutely horrible. They were. Quickly going through it. Dennis says, Philstown not too far, not too near Bryson, Norton or Fairford? ? No, nowhere near. He's near.
I'm in the southwest.
Yeah, near the.
It's near the sea.
Yeah, it's all Navy near him.
I was going to say, it's near Plymouth Navy base, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm basically just halfway between Plymouth and Exeter, more Exeter side, just on the edge of Dartmoor. Literally on the edge of Dartmoor. Dartmoor starts at the end of the road.
Yeah.
So.
Jamie says, 820 Naval Air Squadron are flying for the NHS. My mate is the CO.
Oh, well, there you go. I know they've stationed a Merlin at on the down at the Isles of Scilly down there permanently over this, in case they've got to get somebody quickly off the islands and bring them in. So.
Then Adrian says, Phil, is Andy the Haribo man?
No.
We haven't done Haribo for ages. We're very good. Especially Andy's not allowed Haribo anymore. Now he's a qualified diabetic.
They're 2 biscuits.
Yeah, he's allowed his biscuits. Keep his blood sugar levels all right.
David says, I've been told that Mr. Mark setter and softener work best for Tammy decals. Is this true?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they are pretty good for them, to be honest.
So I've never tried that, because again, it's one of them that's not available in this country for whatever reason. I mean, I've got softener and Mr. Mark softener and setter here, which I'm using for these decals that seem fine. I don't know what the comparison is with the Tamiya version of them. Have you ever used it? Have you ever had some?
I've got it.
I've got it.
Oh, right. I feel a bit left out now.
You'd find it's a shop that stocks it.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Japan.
Find a decent shop, we'd be alright.
Yeah. Just a few more. Neil says, Phil, any plans to review the Airfix Tiger Moth and the the ICM 148 Zvilling?
Yes, they're both on order, and they'll both be winging their way to me here if we could get them in stock. Our said supply is crap. Sorry, did I
Well,
say that out loud?
one of them's in,
Right.
and the one we're waiting for to come in. So
Yes.
yes, but yeah, we did speak this morning, didn't we, about it? And the Tiger Moth is in a little care package coming down with a few other items for him.
Yeah.
So that'll be boxed up and posted tomorrow. Now I'm on top of everything, along with Andy's Zero.
Cool.
Keep him happy.
To look at it and then put it in its stash. Yeah. Two more. Is there any way to get Mr. Mark softener to spread even over a decal? Find it simply beads into droplets. I've heard people talking. I think Keith's one of them. Is if you take some out of the bottle and then put a small amount of acrylic softener in, retarder into it, it helps it. Yeah, flow improver helps it so like level out. You just like the water tension into it of it, and it doesn't.
Yeah. Also, make sure you mix it really, really well. Make sure you shake it up properly well, because it has quite a heavy sediment. So if you it's not like the others where you can just brush it. You do need to mix it. Like I've got one here, and I don't know if you can see probably the head on camera. It's almost like water at the top.
Oh, it's like milk.
Yeah. So it's almost like water. I can see through that at the top, but at the bottom it's thick. So make sure you give it a proper. You can see that it's actually, there we go, you can probably see the sediment on it. It's thick, so don't just grab it. If I go full camera you can probably see that. Hold on, there you go, you can see the sediment on that. It's proper thick stuff. There you go, on the top there, there's loads of it up there. So you need to properly mix it up, because otherwise it will bead up very, very heavily. But if you give it a good old shake for a couple of minutes, it will come back to life.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, it says if you've not seen the Haribo advert, I think it's because I've got a tight throat and I'm a bit squeaky.
Squeaky.
It's like one of the Elvin and the Chipmunk.
on gas.
Yeah.
Well, you should
Someone
get some
was asking
helium and do a show on it.
Hello.
Someone's asking about a 70-second. What's the best 70-second, or does anyone do a 70-second something or other? But I cannot for the life of me find.
Post it up again.
Yeah. Whoever was asking about the kit, post it up again because I can't see your thing. That's it. Up to date.
Cool. Okay, got a couple in here. My experience with extra acrylics is I find that the 0.3mm needle with Tamiya X20A or neat at around 20 psi works okay, but make sure you shake it good. Fair enough. He tried to use it with water and it didn't work at all, nor did it work with their own thinners. Again, they're thinners. I don't think it's that much different from Tamiya X20A, so usually it works. But as I say, I've never tried it with the water trick, but lots of people I know have said it's the magic. But you need to use distilled water, not tap water.
To be honest, the man who knows about these things is not on today, so he'll
No.
be back tomorrow. So ask him, because he's used extra acrylics quite a bit.
Yes,
Mr. Nathan, and
he has done, and he's done a sterling job with it as well.
yes.
Forget Tamiya's X20A, just use IPA and add a drop of retarder. Works well. I tried. First hand experience. Just buy 5 litres of IPA and a bottle of retarder, much cheaper than X20A.
Problem, you can't buy IPA.
I was going to say, the problem is you can't find IPA in the UK for love nor money because everyone's turned it into hand gel. And secondly, depending on the strength of your IPA, because if it's like, I've got 99.9 down there, percent IPA, you might find it evaporates really, really quickly and it's bloody strong. So, yes.
What's your strength IPA, Andy?
Mine's 99 point. 90, I don't know. It's 99%, something like that. Tastes nice anyway.
Do you know what? I did try it once. I just thought, well, like, is this just like vodka? So a little bit on your finger, it burns. Don't try that at home, kids.
No.
Is this a Flory wash? I don't know, two heads. In what context? Have I missed something you were talking about earlier? Because that's all it says. Or are you on about what I'm doing with? No, I was doing it with oils because it may be back in the time because I'm sort of working my way down through it all. No, you didn't miss much. Also add some Winsor & Newton flow improver. I don't know, we're out of context now.
Well, the bullets are at work, so
do you do anything with your jet intakes? Again, a little bit of context will be better, guys. I do sand and fill and all the rest of it if required. Some of them have seam lines in, don't forget. Mix for DIY thinners. Oh god, they're all on the bloody magic carpet ride of this stuff now. Distilled water, IPA and all these other ones. Sometimes though, by the time you've bought all this stuff, isn't it just as easy to spend whatever it is and just a bottle of thinners and go? Hold on. Oh god, they're on about DIY thinners. I'm going to pass over the DIY thinners, guys, because it's one of those things. You start to get up to things and then it goes off. I'll work my way down.
the minefield.
It is a minefield.
The problem with it also is that main ingredient is IPA, and it's really hard to get hold of at the moment because everyone's using it for other reasons. So
More important reasons.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Again, that's the thing. I don't understand why people make up these batches of various things when, I just like to just grab it and go almost. Than making up batches of stuff. It just seems a waste of time, really. If you don't get me wrong, if you're using like 5 litres of thinners for some reason, but for the amount of thinners I actually go through, it's microscopic, really. See, they're on about in here cellulose thinners and all the rest of it. I'm not even going to start on that thing. Jamie will give me grief.
Oh yeah, so talk about 2-pack lacquer.
No, don't.
Why?
Don't. Because look, by the time you finish, we won't be using anything. We'll be using poster paint. And then we'll find out that's got something in it as well.
We're building Matchbox kits with no paint.
But the glue's a bit toxic.
Yeah.
That's it. Bandai snap tight.
Can we go back to cave painting?
Yes.
It was the 70-second A10. What's the best 70-second A10 you can buy?
Academy's, isn't it?
I would say Academy. Yep.
Yeah. What choices have you got? Academy or
Italy Redo one.
Yeah, which
Matchbox.
did Tamiya Reeboks did, didn't they?
I've built that.
Matchbox
I've built
did one.
Hobby Boss one. I've built. It's very simplified. It's a bit click fit. It's not brill. Matchbox, like I say, did one. Who else did one? Somebody else has done one, hasn't they, in 70-second?
So we're saying.
Oh, Asagawa has done one, but I
Yeah.
think that's the old kit. Academy is probably the best one. I think.
Currently, I'd say the Academy one, yeah.
Yeah.
Jamie says step away from the 2-pack discussion.
No, let's get into it.
No.
Yeah.
People will give up painting.
I tell you, when we see Jamie next, we'll have a proper discussion about 2-pack lacquer.
Right, shall I just show my little wares here so
Yes.
we can just bring up people to speed of what I've been up to. So down in here, we've now finished off our weathering. Trouble is grabbing this thing. Okay, so again, keeping it subtle, as you can see, it's now dried in the wheel wells, and it's dried on the gear. Do the other side. So again, in some areas I like it to build up as it would naturally would, in other areas it won't. So down on here, sorry, I can't put it down because of the pitot off the front, I'll snap it. But you can see we've got a little bit of grime and various things down here. I'm thinking tail hook area and, between the nozzles and all these things. We've added little bits just down in here. We've got some oil streaking, hydraulic-y things now, just off of these, just down the backs. We've got a little bit over here. We did these little patches just in here, just to break it up. Again, trying to keep it subtle, nothing heavy. And again, on the top, we've just added a little bit, because there's quite a large, obviously, an actuator just down in here. So we've added quite a bit in there, but I'm going to fade that off as it dries back as well. as it makes its way through. And that's really completing our build.
It's finished.
So the light at the top, I did a little trick. If I show, where are we? Oh, sorry, wrong one. Where are we? Different camera. Okay, so the light on the top here, when I did this one, little thing I do is I put down the red first, just on the surface, and then using it as a glue to stick the clear part down, because it is absolutely tiny, and that doesn't have like a locating pin, it literally just sits on the top. So that goes on there like that. The refueling probe on there, I put a little bit of quick set glue down in here. Okay, and amazingly, I was thinking I'd have to paint it in afterwards. It's gone on fine. That. And then we used just a little bit of silver on the top. Okay, and it is offset to one side. The camera, see, camera it says, there we go. So it is offset slightly. And then over on this one, we've just put on the actual pitot stroke javelin on there as well, and we just painted that in with a little bit of silver, which was the super metallic super silver, whatever it was, just down in there as well. And there we go, that completes our build
At last. Silly.
Yeah, so it's only taken how long?
7 months apparently, I got told on.
Oh, is it 7 months? Well, that's got to be a new record, because
Well,
the Hunter took longer.
Better late than never, isn't it?
Well, this is it. It might have taken a world-destroying virus to get us to do it, but hey-ho, this camera really hates chromy things because it can't lock onto anything.
Oh, no, it looks good though.
So, but yeah. But no, I'm actually really happy with that. And again, I have to say, it's a great kit. It's, you know, Airfix have really knocked this one out of the park. Done a fantastic job on this. I really hope they do it in 48. And even if they upscaled this in 48, it would be a fantastic kit. Because the detail on this thing is phenomenal, really. You know, and obviously the price you pay for the kit as well. It's one of those kits. It's a 48 scale kit sat here for the amount of detail and the fit and everything else in a 70-second scale. You know, it is literally very nice indeed. It's one of those ones where it's now finished. I'm actually really sad because it's been a lot of fun building this one. Really have enjoyed doing it.
I thought you were going to say it's been a long journey.
And it has been a long journey, which we've all done together, everyone. See, in this age of togetherness,
community
and everything else like that, it's actually come together very nicely.
I have to say, I really lost interest in mine, as you probably can guess, because it's taken. But now I've started decking it, the paints on it. It's rekindled my interest. And me and you were on about this yesterday. There's the kit, weren't we, and the detail, and you know, obviously the version that's coming out of it and stuff like that. But I should hopefully get mine finished this week. So that'll be of them done.
Here we go. Look, there you go. It's on a carrier deck.
You'll have to put the backing on, even though it's completely the wrong carrier.
Hold on, I'll do it without
just to show the
watching.
people.
And then I'll do this and see if anyone spots what the problem is. Hold on, or I'll go to me.
Yeah. Spot the difference.
Spot the difference.
There you go.
So yeah, look, see? Complete with carrier deck. It's alright, look. Yeah, look, I'll cover that up. No one can actually see then. What? So yeah, it just looks like the Art Royal. So yes,
with your eyes closed in the dark room.
If you squinted a bit on a foggy day, it would be perfect for it. So yes, but no, thoroughly enjoyed that one. So what we're going to plan is obviously onward with these shows and all the rest of it. We're going to be getting on with this little guy. So yes, we'll be.
And hopefully his decals will turn up some point.
Hopefully my decals will turn up in the near future. I'm going to have to go online and find out what colours to paint it on so we can carry on with that one. Again, obviously this thing's somewhat on hold because I'm waiting for parts to turn up.
Yes.
So, but what I'll probably do is end up, I think, mounting this up already and going through the motions of getting it on, because the pylons are done for it, but I can't put the pylons on until we get it mounted. And ideally I wanted to sort all the cockpit out and everything and glue that in before we got to that stage, but I think we'll have to somewhat fudge it round and do it that way. And get it in, so no, that's all right. And then after that, we'll be tackling No, that's the wrong one. Where's the booklet? I've already done that one.
Millennium Falcon again.
Yeah, do another one.
Da-da-da-da.
We will be tackling the legend. So yes,
Is that
will
it?
be doing.
Is that the instruction?
That is literally it. Yeah, there's nothing to the instructions. I tell you, they're like 1, 2, miss a few, 99, 1,000. There we go.
It. Do you get a hell with it?
You don't, unfortunately. You should do, definitely. But so that's the plan. So we're going to get these 3 sort of done over the next week, and then we're going to be pushing on with the Discovery, getting on with that one. So
David's saying that my mouse cursor is stuck to my neck. It's not my mouse cursor. It'd be Phil's
sorry,
mouse cursor.
hold on. I'll let him off. Come here. So yes.
Is this your rekindled interest in aircraft, Matt?
No.
Next you'll be doing the Bison.
No, it's not that. No, but actually now I'm back into enjoying that. Now it's nearly finished. Because it's nearly finished, I'm enjoying it.
Victor says, can I use CA glue for filling small gaps? Yes, absolutely. No problem with that. Do it all the time. The only thing is if you're going to scribe over it, so I wouldn't use it for filling scribing lines, because otherwise it tends to use scribe and then get to it and it goes rock hard. It's very difficult to scribe over. But generally, I think, yeah, that's not a problem. I do it. It's quite easy, especially if you're going to need a bit of kicker and just go in. What was it I built? I used loads of it. Something I built. We were using it as a filler, basically, all over it.
Yeah. Matt, what did you coat your Audi with?
This stuff. Single pack lacquer, basically.
Just basically the GX100, isn't it? That's the ultraviolet.
Yeah, this is the ultraviolet one, but it's saying just got an additive so it don't fade in the sun. But the GX100 will do the same job. But yeah, really, really nice. It holds its shine as well, which is good, because sometimes with single pack lacquers, you tend to put them on the shiny, they dry off, and they just go semi-matte, and you have to keep building layer on. But actually, that stuff's brilliant. It does a few coats of it, and you've got a nice shine, and you can then flat and polish it to your heart's content. It's rock hard. So yeah, self-leveling thinners. Don't use rapid thinners, or you'll just get a semi-gloss finish. Self-leveling thinners.
So I did my Gannet the other day in Tamiya X22, didn't I? And I was showing you, and you said it was a really nice shiny finish.
Yeah.
And he says that sometimes it gets a bit rough. But to fair, it was rough. But then as soon as I did it, I just got a cup full of leveling thinners and just.
To be honest,
that's very good thing.
I'll tell you what.
It leveled it out nicely and gave it a real nice gloss coat.
Because the other day I was actually being lazy. Let me just get the right one. I actually used that to clear coat my Buccaneer, because I couldn't be bothered to load the airbrush up, and I got some of this stuff, and it's all right actually. It's pretty good. The only problem is we can't post it. We do stock it. It's on the rack, but I can't post it because an aerosol can, it will cost you a fortune.
Yeah.
And that's why people's asked about us stocking the Tamiya TS range and and stuff like that. But because of aerosol cans, you just can't post them, so there's not much point. Which is a shame, because people do use them. So.
Stefan says, sorry, you meant the intakes, weathering the intakes. I don't tend to weather the intakes because naturally they sort of do. You could put a very mild, thinner wash through it if you wanted to, and do it that way. But honestly, intakes, I don't tend to weather them. They tend to be quite kept clean and everything in there. With all the people keep skrilling in there, rubbing around in there.
Or sucked in there.
Or sucked in there, yeah. Does anybody use Uchi van de Rossen's wheel masks? No.
No.
Didn't even know they did them, to be honest.
No.
Matt's the masking expert, but you don't mask wheels, though, do you? Just clear parts?
Oh no, I've got one of them. Here you go. I use to mask my wheels.
Yeah.
Are they for armour? Aren't they the same as what we use, but they're just purpose built for doing armour stuff? I'm sure they are.
I'd doing with the don't you get wheel masks for that? I don't think I've ever used one in my life. I just
use a circle template and
it's cheap. God, that's like kids' circle template. I think I nicked it off Lydia.
Yeah, I
think
must admit, I think I paid a whole 99p or something for mine.
Yeah, I think mine was about £1. Yeah.
Yeah, literally just.
Got every size can go in, so it fits most. And then if you've got a bit of overspray, just touch it in with a brush.
Yeah, that's it.
Simples.
Simples. We've also got.
There you go, look. And
saying-
these fucking super duper one.
No, so they're so cheap. I bought 2. like I always do.
I thought he was going to turn out with some titanium diamond plated one.
Yeah.
They were just from just a normal shop.
There's a couple down here. So it's not easy to buy it, so it's easier to buy a brand for shipping and all the rest of it from Matt. One day soon he's gonna this is somebody else is gonna run out of Future. Yes, the real stuff over here. It's next to impossible to find. I paid $63 back then. Jesus. No thanks. Don't forget they do a new version of it now. Which is that one, which now they're doing a brown one. It's now called Floor Care. It's the same thing, exactly. And if you do want to buy some, if you run out, seriously, I can do you a good deal on the originals. Because I've still got...
£8 bottle.
Yeah, I think, £100 a bottle. Look, I can do you a deal. That's not a problem. And these are the originals.
Where you got them from?
I bought a load in the supermarket when I knew they were going out, and my local, whatever it was, at the time had loads of them. But I did buy this one, which at the time I had it imported from the States, but now you can buy it in the UK as well. And it comes with just a brown thing, and it's called Floor Care still. But that is exactly the same as the original. They went through a spell of being the milky one, which is horrible, but this is back to the normal one. As you can see, I still use it. Good stuff.
Not as popular as it used to be, though, is it?
No, like I said before, the thing is, you can go out and buy a big bottle of like gloss, artist grade one.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the horrible one.
That's the milky,
That's
smelly.
the milky, horrible one. But you can go out and buy one of them for £8, because it says so on the label. It might be more expensive now. I've had this one a while now, but you can buy that for £8, and then you could make up seriously 5 litres out of that. And that is a clear coat, exactly the same. And this one's ultraviolet protected, so you don't have any trouble with it going yellow like the other ones do. So again, I think it's a bit of a false economy.
My original one's gone like treacle.
Oh, got a nice thick coat, look.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, I've never seen that before.
That one's been in.
That'll not go through an airbrush, will it?
Yeah, you'll be fine. That'll give you a great glossy finish. You can make water effects with it. That's obviously super concentrated now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if I thinned it with leathering thinners, it worked.
DJ says he recently built the Academy 72nd A10. Needs lots of work.
Oh, right.
Question for Matt. Is automotive thinners cellulose thinners? Is self-leveling thinners cellulose thinners?
Kind of. Proper cellulose lacquer thinners is what you would use on a car. Is really harsh and really strong, and I wouldn't advise using it. The leveling thinners we've got is a very refined version of a lacquer thinner that's obviously got a retarder in it. The one I was using was what I used to use as a base coat thinner for 2-pack paint. So when you put in your metallic coat on before the clear coat, thin it with that, and a slow drying one, which again is a very refined lacquer thinners. But normal sort of what you'd buy, is it Rustall or whatever, I wouldn't advise using that stuff. It's absolutely just lethal and it will knock your head off. It's just too strong for what we do by a long way.
Yeah.
Or like a gun wash, as we used to call it, just for flushing your guns out after you've painted. So if you're going to do it, you want the 2K thinners, which is a lot more refined if you're going down that road. Yes.
See, Tim's done a link in the chat on Amazon for the normal pledge Pledge Revive. It's now £15 a bottle, and that's the UK one. And it's just for the price it is now. When it was like a couple of quid,
it used to be
it
back
makes
in the
sense,
day.
didn't
It used to be £3.49 a bottle for the original ones I've got up there. That's what it was in the 90s. But now, as I say, it's gone really expensive. It was, like I said before, it was a cheap alternative to a gloss, but now it's not. You know, you might as well have an artist grade one, which is better stuff anyway. You know.
Surely they can't sell that if you go to sort of Asda or Tesco's or something. They sell it £15 a bottle in there, do they?
Don't think so.
I would say it's going to be a fiver tops. Surely. I think somebody's cashing in, shall we say,
Yeah.
to put it politely.
Michael Morris says he needs to make some very small circular plasticard circles of varying sizes. They are too small for using a compass style cutting tool. What would you suggest? Punch and die? You can get punch sets from I don't know, maybe 2 mil downwards. You can do it that way. Your other way is like a leather punch tool. You can get ones that are actually designed for it. They use it in decoupage and that type of thing.
And because they have different, it's like
it's like the old leather punch wheel, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's
Spin
designed
the
for
wheel
paper
round
and
to-
card. That'll do it.
Yeah.
So you could actually do those, and then you'll notice the way that they work is you can then push them out from the other side. So the hole on the other side will be right the way through, even if it's got a hole in the middle, and it'll go out, and you can just push them out and do it that way. You can do it there. I used to have a punch and die set, but unfortunately I lent it to somebody and it's now gone. But that was quite good. So they were hollow, tools. So you could put them right over where you wanted, like a dial. So if you wanted a dial out of a decal, for instance, you could go right over it and then just tap it and it will cut it out, and you could do it that way. They are quite good tools. I don't know where you would find those, I must admit, but they were good back in the day. I can't remember where it came from, but unfortunately I've lost that.
I've got one, but I can't think where it is, and it's at work, so I can't even tell you whose make it is because I can't remember. But I'm sure I got it from UMM with the scriber order. I think me and Rob got together to do an order with them, and I think I got it from.
I think it was UMM you got yours from.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Yeah. I've got some generic ones that I got off eBay that are probably from 1 mil to about 10 mil. So they go the other way around. And they're all right. The problem is that you whack them that hard, everything else goes flying every time you use them.
I'm about to say that. If I whack something on there, I'd be wearing my bench, I think. Yeah.
Can't pronounce your name. Says he's watching the whole thing whilst working on his old 132nd Revel long-nosed Dora.
Oh, is that the Hasegawa
That's
kit?
I was going to say that's the nice one, the D9. That's the Hasegawa kit. That's actually not a bad kit.
I would say that's the Hasegawa kit. It's brilliant, that is. Unless it's a really... I don't think they did a really old one, did they? Back in the...
Because I've built that one. It's actually quite a nice kit.
It is, yeah. It is. But we're out of time if we're up to speed.
I think so.
4:05.
David says they can get the Pledge Gloss Coat for $5, £3 in the USA. Then he says, oops, I meant £4, 5 pence. And James says, is that a link to the stock market, David? He says, we might see a few more revisions of that price in the next hour.
Well, yeah, it keeps going a little bit up and down everywhere, doesn't it?
Fluctuating.
Yeah. What do you guys recommend for cleaning your airbrush homebrew? Don't do it. I don't. Again, sometimes it makes me wonder how people clean their airbrush. Are they like physically bathing it and soaking it? Because I literally just put a drop of whatever I'm spraying at the time. So if I've been using some self-leveling thinners, when I finish spraying, I just put a couple of drops in, blow it through, give it a rub round, and job done. So it's not like it's swimming in it that I would need to use gallons of, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I'm not being funny. I must go through more than I think normal people do, purely because of the amount of spraying and everything I do. And I don't go through that much. Well, Matt knows, because I get it all out of Matt. So every now and again I'll chirp up and say, can we get a bottle of whatever sent down? But
Yeah.
I use it for everything.
it's not good practice to every time you spray to strip the airbrush and clean it. You are going to either bend the needle, wreck a seal. It doesn't need it. You just blow it through. All right, you always, luckily with the Procons, you don't really get it so much with the sticky needle on the on the seal. But all that is the seal expanding and just gripping the needle.
Yeah.
Just drop a bit of thinners in it, leave it for half a minute, and it will just re-lubricate it and free the needle off, and just melt the paint that's stuck, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
There's just too much. You can cause yourself more damage, like just keep stripping and cleaning than just a quick blow through. All right, every now and again, yes, strip it and clean it, but not every time you use it.
So I just use the normal thin or whatever I'm using just to clean my airbrush out with. But when I used to use the bottle top things like them, that's what you try and do a little bit, but end up filling my cup up completely.
Yeah, hold on, there's a trick to that. Andy, trick?
Well, your metal bits.
No, when you do this at the top, don't open it fully. Just give it like a tiny little bit, so a tiny little gap at the top. So don't have it open fully, just a little bit. So when you tip it up, only it comes out really slow.
Only because I told you this idea, look.
Or a dropper bottle.
Dropper bottle.
These have been fantastic. I'll tell you, the amount I've saved in lacquer thinners since using these things, just for just so you can just put a little bit in rather than the whole colour cut. Yeah.
But also, if you do twist the top, it won't come out and break the knots. Just it dribbles out.
Now, I like my dropper bottles. It's a lot neater and a lot more tidy on top of my spray bit, I think.
Yes.
Label everything up, obviously.
Stephen says Revell did their own FW190 D in the 70s.
Oh, God.
Apparently.
Ooh.
So, yes. Right, should we just have a quick look at the reveals? Because somebody's hinting in my chat.
Yes.
Who was it? Somebody I just had up here said the reveals. So I take it they've got something in here. So I'll have a quick look at the reveals for everything that's been going on. Okay, so in one, we have the de Havilland 72nd from Lenny Mosquito.
Do you know something? I looked at that earlier. That's brilliant job on that, Lenny. But isn't that a prime candidate to be upgraded from Airfix?
Yeah, it should be, shouldn't it?
Yeah. You never think of the Mosquito when you were chatting to Pranjit and stuff. And they're like, well, see Lenny's, and it was just like, well, there's another popular aeroplane. They know they're going to sell bucket loads. There's a few different versions.
Yeah.
So.
Was that with his 6mm invasion stripes?
Are they 6mm or are they 5.9556?
It was Lenny who was asking, wasn't it? What? I've always done 6mm for 7 and 10mm for 48.
To be honest, it's one of those kits because obviously there's no panel lines on it, so it's ageless.
Yes.
So you get away with it.
Yeah, it does. It looks good.
Very good. Cool job. Cracking job on that. Well done, Lenny. Nice job. Okay, and what have we got? Into Firefly. Oh, look. That came on nicely because we saw this during the build process. So this is Steve's.
They had the pre-weathered decals.
Yeah, that's it. Very nice indeed.
Again, another candidate for an upgrade from Airfix.
To be honest, I've got the 48th thingy here, haven't I?
Yeah,
Hobby Boss one.
Special hobby one.
Special hobby one, yeah.
Yeah.
See, nice on the stand as well.
Yeah.
Very nice job. Cool job. Very good. Okay, and we've got the Cutty Sark.
Blimey.
Bloody hell.
How old's that? That must be 50s.
Tooled in 1955.
There you go.
Christ.
Wow.
My lord. Shame they've got bigger pictures. It'd be great if we get some better pictures of that. But wow, fantastic. Nicely done. And
in the spirit of the build, isn't it?
That's it.
Panzerkampfwagen 4.
Glad you said that.
See, my German's coming on.
Excellent.
Except for all the real German speakers are just shouting at me.
Yes, roll your R's.
Yeah.
I thought you were doing Spanish.
Well,
Sounded more Finnish to me. Lovely job. Well done, Alex. Beautiful job there. Nice little base as well.
Alex.
What else have we got? Matchbox Hawker Hunter.
Two-seater.
Look at that, two-seater one. This kit was actually quite sought after at one point because people wanted the front of it.
Yes. And then Extra Kit bought one out.
Yeah.
I think it's the other version.
Yeah, and that's awful.
Yeah.
Anything from Extra Kit is just not good. Tried their Harrier once. That's awful.
Moulded by MPM, wasn't it? Who did their moulds?
Was it? Jesus.
So yeah.
All I know is the canopy was like for some other aircraft.
I actually bought an Extra Kit at Nantwich show, didn't I? But it's quite a rare one because I bought the Skimitar.
Yeah.
All right.
It's an odd kit to get hold of. So
here we go. Look.
See.
Matchbox
That's
A10.
the best one. Best one in scale.
Do you know what? I think it might have some shape issues round here at the front.
Yeah.
It's a prototype. Does look a bit weird, to be honest. It's like it's got a stubby nose.
It does, doesn't it? Very nice.
It is the A version, though.
Yeah, even the A version didn't look like that.
It looks like an A10. Now you're not going to mistake it for a Spitfire, are you? No.
To be honest,
Yeah.
if it didn't have two engines on the back and tails, I wouldn't know what it was.
You're all good build. It's done a good job of that.
Great build, nicely done. That's proper in the spirit of it, and that's what we like about it.
Yeah.
Is that
Very
what the front
good
ends
job,
always
Chris.
used to look like before they got stuffed in with air-to-air refueling?
I don't know.
Because they'll get stuffed, don't they, and smashed up.
Proper drive it in there, that's for certain. Okay, Mohawk, we saw this one, didn't we? That's the very nicely done red and white one.
Yeah, nice and colourful that.
Very colourful one, that. Very nice. I think we're up to date then, are we? Unless...
No.
Academy, we saw. BOC, we've seen. Matchbox 262, we've seen that. Yeah, we're up to date now, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. We're all up to date. Very
Cool.
good. Excellent job, guys. Right. You know what to do. Like, subscribe, ring the bell button, all the rest of it. What I'll do later on, for people who aren't obviously on the Flory thing, because that'll come up on here tomorrow, but I will take some proper photos of this and I will pop it up onto the Instagram and Facebook thing and things like that as well, so you can see the final photos of that one finished off. Also, before we forget, because I almost have, up with you very, very shortly, because it was actually uploading just before we came on air, so I'll go and get it set up on the site and everything. We've got the review of this is up with you today. So this is the BMW M6 from the 2018 GT3 race winner. So yes, very nice kit. To be honest, it is just like the Audi R8 that we reviewed 2 weeks ago, because it's by Nunu. It's very, very similar in the way that they've done it as well. So the build basically is identical to this particular one, although this one, it looks perfect. I couldn't find anything apart from the odd little bit of flash on it, to be honest. But again, very, very straightforward, easy clean up. Deburring, as we showed you before, around the roll cage, things like that. But apart from that, it's fine. The R8 had a couple of little sink marks in it, but this one, no problem at all. It's absolutely flawless on that. Beautiful kits. And like I said before, actually, I quite fancy having a go at one of these, because they've brought out some really, really nice kits. And I'd like to have a bit of a find a
Before you
kit.
go, Phil,
Yeah.
then it says you've got to say hello to Editha
Editha.
in the Philippines.
Hello,
Well, probably
Editha. In the
Probably still
Philippines.
butchered it.
Andy's told me what to say. So stay safe, everybody, and you'll be fine. But anyway, that goes to everyone. Happy modelling, take care, stay safe, wash your hands, remember your social distancing, do modelling, be friendly, be nice, everybody. And,
What time's the show tomorrow?
And the show tomorrow is tomorrow night, isn't it?
7:30 normal.
7:30. So we're on with you guys tomorrow night at 7:30, which is GMT +1. So that's how that works.
Yeah.
So yes, be fine. Very, very good. And we'll be making our way through. And yes, I know before somebody says, I haven't done the thing on this, but I'm going to clear this all out the way. And on Friday's show, I'll show you about doing raised line rescribing, because that's what I'll do with that one. So we'll get the canopy all set, and then next week it'll all be for paint. I've got to go because I've got a delivery has literally just turned up. So happy modelling, everybody. Take care. And we will see you very, very soon.
Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.